Good morning, students. Today I'll be giving you a portion for your P1 exam, as well as we'll be doing revision. We'll cover chapter 1 to 3 in this exam. Chapter 1, we will be discussing the Earth, the blue planet. First, what is a continent? Continent, in simple words, we can call that the land masses, right? A large land masses, we call it continents. And then we have 7 continents, namely Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. In this continents, it is, as I have said, it is a large land masses. So in these land masses, they have different physical features like forests, mountains, deserts, plains, rivers, and lakes. And now let us see Asia. Asia is the largest and the most diversified of the 7 continents in terms of physical features, climate variations, and even cultural profiles. And then although Asia has only 30% land area, it is a home to 60% population. And then we have India. This Asia was surrounded by Pacific Ocean in the east, the Indian Ocean in the south, and the Arctic Ocean in the north. And then Asia's climate is mostly tropical. For example, in this desert, physical features like Gobi Desert in China, which is one of the coldest desert in the world, and the third desert in India, which is one of the hottest desert in the world, which is found in India. Okay, these are the examples we can find under this Asia physical features. And then now next, second largest continent is Africa. Africa is the second largest continent. It occupies almost 20.4% of the total land area, and it is a home to 15% population, 15% of the world's total population. And then the Mediterranean Sea in the north separates Africa from Europe. The Mediterranean Sea in the north separates Africa from Europe, and then the equator passes through Africa, which has resulted in great climatic variations. More than half of Africa is covered with dry lands and deserts. And then we can find the hottest desert in the world, that is Sahara Desert in this Africa. Third, we have North America. North America is the third largest continent. It is surrounded by the Arctic Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean in the east. And this North America is connected to South America by the Isthmus of Panama. Examples under this North America we can find is the Appalachians, the Rockies, and then the Niagara Falls, which is in Los Angeles. And then it's a great plain drained by many rivers and lakes. And fourthly, we have South America. South America is the 4th largest continent. And then due to its topography, most of the people inhabit in the western and western coast. South America has an extremely short coastline in comparison to other continents. And then here, the world's highest waterfall, that is the Angel Falls, was found in this South America, and the Amazon River flows through this continent. In 5th, we have Antarctica, or Antarctica, which also we call it a white continent. It is also the coldest, the windiest, and the driest continent. And then being a desert of ice, it is practically inhabitable, and hence no country has a political boundary on this continent. Like animals like whales, seals, and penguins live in this continent because they can survive in this cold continent. And many countries, including India, USA, Russia, etc., they have set up their research laboratories here to explore Antarctica. That means people did not inhabit there much because the climatic variations was quite different from other continents. And next we have Europe. Europe is the second smallest continent. It has 6.8% of the world's total land area, and then the percentage of the population is 11%. The Arctic and the Atlantic Oceans lies to the north and west of the continent respectively. And this Europe is also, it is popularly known as the Great European Plains. And then Australia, which is the smallest continent in the world, is often known as the island continent. Island continent or Australia, it is located in the southern hemisphere and is surrounded by the Indian Oceans in the west, the Pacific Ocean in the east, the Southern Ocean in the south, and the Arafura Sea in the north. Australia is popular for physical features like the Great Dividing Range and the Blue Mountains. And next we go to oceans. The oceans contain 97% of the Earth's total water. And then the 5 oceans are, first we have Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean in the world, and then it is 46% of the Earth's water surface. Quite big, isn't it? It divides North America and South America from Asia and Australia. And then there we find the biggest hole or the deepest hole that we call it. The Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean is the deepest point of the Earth. And the Pacific Ring of Fire is a horseshoe-shaped area in the Pacific Basin. It is a home to almost 75% of the world's active and dormant volcanoes. That means in this Pacific Ocean, volcano used to occur. And next we have the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Oceans is also known as the Sea of Atlas. It is the second largest ocean, and then it covers 29% of the Earth's total water surface. It is connected to all the other oceans in the world. The Atlantic Ocean is connected to all other oceans, and the Mid-Atlantic Range is a big submarine mountain range in the Atlantic Ocean. And then the Indian Ocean, we have, this is the third largest ocean, covering 20% of the Earth's water surface. And the Indian Ocean surrounds Asia in the north, Africa in the west, Australia in the east, and the Southern Ocean in the south. This Indian Ocean is the major sea routes to the world. It provides major sea routes to the world. And then fourth, we have the Southern Ocean or the Antarctic Ocean. The Antarctica Ocean or the Antarctic Ocean. It lies in the southern hemisphere. It encircles Antarctica and gets water through the merger of the Pacific. Southern Ocean gets water through the merger of the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Indian Ocean, the 3 largest oceans in the world. And lastly, we have the Arctic Ocean. The Arctic Ocean is the smallest ocean in the world and is partially covered with ice throughout the year. It is lowest in salinity level in comparison to the other oceans due to low evaporation of water. Okay, this Arctic Ocean surrounds Europe, Asia, North America, and Greenland. Portions for PA1 exam in this chapter 3 is question and answer. We have 3 question and answer, then match the following, fill in the blanks, and circle the correct options. I think it's clear, right? And chapter 2, we have longitudes and latitudes. Yes, we have studied this longitude and latitude in class 4 as well, so I think you remember, and then this is just a revision, so I'll be doing it very in a brief way. In the 16th century, a Portuguese explorer, Ferdinand Magellan, and his team, they started a journey to prove that the earth is round in the year 1519 and then reached back the starting point in the year 1522, right? And then, by the way, what is a globe? In a very simple term, we can say that a globe is a small model of the earth, right? And these globes, the globe's axis is also tilted at an angle of 23.5, which help the axis, that is, which is passing through from the North Pole to the South Pole. There is a line which helps the earth to spin, isn't it? And then when it completes, okay, now a globe, it is round in shape, so we cannot see through all the parts of the earth, right? We can see only half parts of the earth. So the half parts of the earth which you can see, let's say it is a daytime, and then the dark side, we call it nighttime. And lines of longitude. Lines of longitude. All the lines of longitude are of equal length. Yes, longitude, always remember that it is a line passing through the North Pole and the South Pole. And altogether, we have from the North Pole to the South Pole, altogether we have 360 lines of longitude, which is of equal length. And then the prime meridian divides the earth into two equal halves called Eastern and the Western Hemisphere. Do you get it? And then the 0 degree line of longitude, we call it meridians or the prime meridian. And prime meridian is the standard line of longitude assumed to be crossing the Royal Observatory in Greenwich. That is a place near London. And interestingly, we have longitudes of 180 degrees east from the in the Eastern Hemisphere. In the east, we have 180 degree lines of longitude, and then on the western side or part, we have 180 degree line. And then they form a single line called the International Date Line. And we have lines of latitude. Latitude, it is an imaginary line which is parallel to the equator. Yes, do not forget this. And here we have the equator is marked as the 0 degree latitude, also known as the great circle, because at the center of the circle, that is equator, that is the biggest part, the biggest line, the longest line, okay? And there are 181 lines of latitude. The equator divides the earth into two equal halves called northern and southern hemispheres. And portion 4, this chapter, we have question and answer, 3 question and answer, fill in the blanks, and then circle the correct options. So students study with the spelling, okay? And chapter 3, we have the movements of the earth. Before, people believed that the earth is the center of the universe, isn't it? But the sun is at the center of the solar system along with the planet which we are living, that is the earth. That means the earth and the other planets, they revolve around the sun. And rotation. The movement of the earth on each axis is called rotation. The earth rotates from west to east. The earth axis is tilted at an angle of 66.5 degrees. It takes about 24 hours to complete one rotation. When it completes one rotation, we call it one day. 24 hours is one day, right? And the effects of rotations are on each axis causes day and night. The rotation of the earth on each axis causes day and night, and then the side of the earth that faces the sun has day while the opposite side has night. Yes, that means sunlight can pass through half part of the earth because the earth is round, so the other part cannot receive sunlight, so the other part will remain night, dark. And the tilt of the earth is always in the direction of the pole star. This tilt causes the days to be longer in summer and shorter in winter. Because of this tilted of the earth, we have long summer and then shorter winter. Understand? And we have revolution. The earth moves around the sun in a fixed path, albeit this movement is called revolution. And then the earth takes 365 1/4 days to complete one revolution around the sun. We observe our calendar year of 365 days mainly, isn't it? Normal one, we have 365 days. And then, but this 1/4, 365 1/4 days, this 1/4 remaining days is added as an extra day in that year. That year means after every 4 years, one particular day was added, that is 29 February. We call it a leap year. I hope it's clear. And the biggest effect of revolution is change in seasons. The two factors are the angles of the sun's rays and then the length of the days. These two factors affect the revolution. Are the effects of revolution which help the changes in seasons. Solstices, we have two types of solstices, that is summer solstice and winter solstice. In summer solstice, we have the longest day of the year, that is summer. As we have mentioned before, it is longer, isn't it? Longer days. And we have 21 June, which is the longest day of the year. And then in winter, it is very short. Shortest night of the year is 21 December. And equinox. Equinox simply means that equal day and night. And we have two types of equinox, that is spring equinox and autumn equinox. Like for example, in September, the northern hemisphere experiences autumn, while the southern hemisphere experiences spring. Got it? In the month of September, if it is autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere, then spring will be in the southern hemisphere. And then we have 23rd September is the autumnal equinox. Okay, now here, portion 4, Tier 1 exam. Question and answers, we have 3. And then from textbook, we have fill in the blanks, match the following. And to sum up, total marks for Tier 1 is 14 marks. These are the marks distribution. Listen carefully. Question and answers for 20 marks. Fill in the blanks, 5 marks. Match the following, 5 marks. Circle the correct options, 5 marks. And MCQ, which will be given in Google form, that will be 5 marks altogether. It comes to 40 marks.